There is a Shivalinga beneath the Taj Mahal, and it was originally a Shiva temple or Mahalaya. Some people say that the Taj Mahal is the greatest example of love. So what is the truth? The question which had troubled even the ASI, means Archaeological Survey of India. For years, it has been claimed that the Taj Mahal's locked rooms contain something hidden, which if revealed would force the history books to be rewritten. What is the secret behind these rooms? Is there truly a Shivalinga, or is it simply a truth that historians and the government had been concealing? Today, we will reveal the truth behind these locked rooms along with all the evidences. There was no question about the Taj Mahal until 1950. But then a book came out called The Taj Mahal is a Hindu Temple. If you read the 1965 edition of this book, you will find that its most outlandish claim is that the Taj Mahal contains traces of Shivalinga. It also claims that there are rooms beneath the Taj Mahal that Shah Jahan permanently sealed, and that these rooms contain Shivalingas or idols of gods and goddesses. This controversy has caused a huge debate. Some people say a Shivalinga is still hidden there, while others believe that ancient Sanskrit writings in the basement were covered up by the Mughals. These claims suggest that the Taj Mahal was once an old temple called Tejo Mahalaya, which Shah Jahan took over and turned into a tomb for his wife Mumtaz Mahal. It is even said that Taj Mahal is not its real name. A new movie based on this topic, starring Paresh Rawal, is also released. The film Taj Mahal explores these very questions. In its trailer, you can see the same doubts. Why is there an upside down lotus on top of the Taj Mahal? Why is there a trident symbol? Did Shah Jahan really take over an ancient Hindu temple? Has the truth of our history been buried for centuries? Watch this video till end, because only by knowing your past can you truly understand who you are. P.N. Oak played a key role in starting this debate about the Taj Mahal being a temple. But who exactly was P.N. Oak? P.N. Oak was born in Maharashtra in 1917 and studied English literature. He also took part in the freedom struggle as a member of the Azad Hind Fauj. Later, he worked as a journalist. After independence, his interest turned towards history. He went on to write a book titled The Taj Mahal is a Hindu Temple. In this book, he made several claims that are still discussed today. But before we talk about those claims, let's first understand how the Taj Mahal was actually built. It was the year 1631, a time when Delhi and Agra were among the richest and most beautiful cities in the world. That same year, Shah Jahan's beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal died while giving birth to her 14th child. Soon after her death, she was temporarily buried in Zainabad, a garden on the banks of the Tapti river in Burhanpur. The burial was done quickly as per Islamic tradition, but it was meant to be only a temporary resting place. Shah Jahan was heartbroken after her death. Historian Abdul Hamid Lahori wrote in his book Badshah that Shah Jahan did not leave his palace for several days and his eyes were always filled with tears. This deep grief led to the creation of the monument that the world remembers today as the Taj Mahal. He wanted to build a grand mausoleum for his beloved wife in Agra on the banks of the Yamuna river. In December 1631, about 6 months after her death, the process of moving Mumtaz Mahal's remains from Burhanpur to Agra began. Mughal court historian Abdul Hamid Lahori describes this in detail in the book Badshah. He writes that the Mumtaz Mahal's body was placed in a gold and silver coffin, which was carried from Burhanpur to Agra with great respect in a grand royal procession. Many high-ranking officials, clerics and courtiers of the Mughal court joined this journey. When her remains reached Agra, they were temporarily buried on the land acquired for the Taj Mahal. Later, she was finally laid to rest inside the Taj Mahal itself. The construction of the Taj Mahal began in 1632 and was completed in 1648, taking around 16 years to build the monument that the world knows today as the Taj Mahal. And then Mumtaz Mahal was finally laid to rest there. Shah Jahan did not just build a tomb, he elevated the art, science and architecture of his time to the new heights. The Taj Mahal became such a marvel that in 1836, when W.H. Sleeman's wife saw it, she said that if such a tomb were built in her memory, she would be ready to die the next day. Tavernier, who had closely observed the construction of the Taj Mahal, also praised it very greatly. Historians say that more than 20,000 workers and artisans took part in building of the Taj Mahal. Among them were skilled craftsmen from India, Persia, Turkey and Central Asia. The chief architect of the project was Ustad Ahmad Lahori, one of the most renowned designers of the time. The white marble used for the Taj Mahal came from Makrana in Rajasthan, while precious stones like Yemeni, turquoise, lapis lazuli and agate, these were brought from places such as Persia, Tibet, China and Sri Lanka. And this is not just hearsay. It has been clearly recorded both by Shah Jahan's court historians and by travelers who visited and saw the empire during that period. Texts like Badshah Nama and Shah Jahan Nama describe the entire construction of the Taj Mahal, from the laying of its foundation to the completion of the tomb. They also mentioned that the land originally belonged to Mirza Raja Jai Singh, which Shah Jahan acquired from him through an agreement. Shah Jahan named the monument Rauzai Mumtaz Mahal, meaning the tomb of Mumtaz Mahal. This shows that the term Taj Mahal does not appear in Mughal records. The monument was also known as Rauzai Munawwara. But P.N. Oak's entire controversy starts with the name Taj Mahal. Based on this, he claims that the building's original name was Tejo Mahalaya. Now the question arises, since the name Taj Mahal is not found in Mughal records, does that mean Tejo Mahalaya is the older original name? This is where the first layer of the controversy begins. However, European travelers like Jean-Baptiste Tavernier and Francois Bernier, who visited India during that time, described the Taj Mahal as a newly built structure in their writings. Tavernier even wrote that he had never seen such a beautiful building in his life. This clearly shows that the claim about the name Tejo Mahalaya has no real foundation. But P.N. Oak wrote in his book The Taj Mahal is a Temple that the monument was originally a Hindu shrine. Academic historians, however, refuse to accept his claim. In the preface of his book, Oak himself mentions that he later founded the Institute of Rewriting Indian History in Pune and began publishing his works through it. One of those books was his study on the Taj Mahal, published in 1965. If you read the book, you will find around 20 to 30 different claims, some big, some small, but we will focus on the most basic and most well-known ones. P.N. Oak claimed that the dome, finial and carvings of the Taj Mahal resemble those found in Hindu temples. For instance, he said the dome has a final topped with a trident, a symbol of Lord Shiva. He also claimed that there are signs of Shivalinga inside the Taj Mahal. This claim is linked to the locked room beneath the structure, which remain permanently closed. According to him, Shah Jahan sealed these rooms because they contain Shivalingas, or idols of gods and goddesses. The real issue, however, was the lack of evidence. Oak had not provided any proof to support his claim. Eventually, even the Archaeological Survey of India (ASI) had to step in. In 2017, a group of lawyers filed a petition in Agra court demanding that the Taj Mahal be declared a Hindu temple. The ASI responded clearly, the Taj Mahal is not a temple but a mausoleum built by Shah Jahan. Yet, the controversy continued to stir debate. Another claim made by P.N. Oak was that Shah Jahan did not build the Taj Mahal at all. Instead, he took over a temple built in 1115 by the Chandel kings known as Temple of Parmadidev. But Oak's book does not cite any documents or provide any historical or archaeological evidence to support this claim. If Oak was wrong, then what is the truth? In his book, Oak himself writes that this ancient temple was located in the territory of Raja Jai Singh of Agra, where a Shivalinga was once worshipped. However, he never explains why. If the temple had truly been seized, Raja Jai Singh, a powerful ruler, chose to remain silent. So what do you think? Was there really a temple there or not? Tell us in the comments. P.N. Oak also argued that the Taj Mahal was built according to Hindu architectural principles. For instance, he pointed out that the dome of the Taj Mahal is decorated with downward sloping lotus petals, the lotus being a sacred symbol in Hindu art and designs. He claimed that since the lotus is rarely seen in Islamic tomb architecture, the structure must have originally been a temple. Oak also discussed the kalash, the finial, on top of the dome, saying that the crescent moon on it resembles the trident found on Shiva temples. He further suggested that the four minarets of Taj Mahal built at its corner were not minarets at all, but four watchtowers as seen in the traditional Hindu temple complexes meant for protection and symmetry. This book had everything that fuels conspiracy theories, hidden rooms, Hindu symbols, and mysterious claims. The kind of content that easily attracts attention in our country. That is why, even though historians ignored Oak's theory, the story of Tejo Mahalaya slowly resurfaced during the 1980s and 90s. Some groups began calling it a suppressed truth, claiming that historians had hidden the real story out of fear of Islamic rulers. In fact, P.N. Oak even filed a petition in the Supreme Court in 2000 based on his book. The court dismissed it as a publicly stunt and remarked that it was like a fly entered someone's mind. Yet, the question did not end there. There were many historians in Shah Jahan's court, and one of them was Abdul Hamid Lahori. In his book named Badshahnama, he wrote, in 1632, Shah Jahan began the construction of a mausoleum on the banks of Yamuna in the memory of Mumtaz Mahal. Francois Bernier was among the few who actually witnessed the Taj Mahal's completion. He was shown the site by Dara Shikoh and he wrote, I saw the construction of a mausoleum whose beauty was beyond comparison. Now, if the Taj Mahal had truly been an existing temple, wouldn't these foreign travelers who visited India during Shah Jahan's reign have mentioned it? Historians R. Nath, one of the leading experts on Mughal architecture, writes, the Taj Mahal is a fully planned Mughal monument. Every part of its design and structure matches the architectural style of Shah Jahan's time. There is no element in Taj Mahal that suggests temple or idol worship. The claim that the finial lotus and trident on top of the Taj Mahal prove it was once a Hindu temple has also been addressed by experts. They point out that the finial is a common feature in Islamic architecture and can be seen in monuments across Persia, Turkey and Central Asia also. It doesn't represent divine energy but rather symbolizes balance and unity, a key idea in Arabic art. Now, coming to archaeological evidence, the ASI carried out detailed studies of Taj Mahal in 1970s and again in 2000s. These structural investigations found no sign of any temple-like construction beneath the monument. The foundations, bricks and stonework all belong to the Mughal period, not to the Gupta or pre-medieval era. Another claim questions how Mumtaz Mahal's remains were brought from Burhanpur, but imperial burials held great importance during the Mughal era. For example, Emperor Humayun was buried not once or twice but 4 times. Why? Because carefully preserving the remains of royals and later placing them in grand mausoleums was seen as a symbol of power, devotion and legacy. So, bringing Mumtaz Mahal's remains from Burhanpur was neither unusual nor illogical. It was entirely in line with Mughal customs. But if all this is true, what about the locked room inside the Taj Mahal? What is really hidden there? These are the same rooms that some claim contain secret idols or statues. Well, in 2022, the ASI finally released photographs of those rooms and the results was no mystery at all. Nothing was found inside. As for the basement, it's not unique to the Taj Mahal. Similar underground chambers exist in other Mughal structures too, including Humayun's tomb, which is considered the architectural predecessor of the Taj Mahal. These underground chambers are part of large structure that supports the Taj Mahal's foundation along the banks of Yamuna river. They were built as storage spaces or passage galleries to help stabilize the monument. Because these rooms are close to the river level, they protect the main structure from soil moisture and water erosion. Similarly, Humayun's tomb has more than 50 rooms beneath it, and the same architectural pattern exists in the Taj Mahal. However, the decision not to open certain areas has often led people to assume that something is being hidden. Now let me explain something important. There is a logical error called ad hominem fallacy. It means rejecting someone's argument by attacking the person or their past statements instead of addressing the fact. I don't usually rely on such arguments, but in this case, P.N. Oak made several claims that are too surprising to ignore. For example, he claimed that many of the world's most famous historical buildings, those generally known as Islamic or Christian monuments, were originally Hindu structures. He claimed that Vatican City, the holiest site for Christians, was once a Vedic center of learning and that the word Vatican comes from the Sanskrit word Vatika. He further wrote that the word Catholic comes from Catholic, meaning followers of goddess Katyayani. Oak even claimed that the Shivalinga was once worshipped the Kaaba and the Islam itself was a later form of Shaivism. In the same way, he argued that Westminster Abbey, the famous church in London, was originally a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. He went even further, claiming that during the Treta Yuga or even earlier in the Vedic age, when powerful weapons like nuclear arms existed, people needed a remote place to test them. According to Oak, that place was Australia, which he identified as modern day Australia, where such ancient weapons were supposedly used or detonated. So many of the controversies and WhatsApp rumors you see today trace their roots back to P.N. Oak's ideas. And that is the complete truth behind how the story of Taj Mahal being Tejo Mahalaya began. A theory spread without any credible historical or archaeological evidence. So, what did you think of this story? Do you believe that the Taj Mahal hides secrets from the past, or is it just a myth built over time? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more such stories from history. Thank you very much.